In the Shade of the Tree. A drama in 2 acts. Characters: Mustafa Bey, a landowner. Gul Mahmud, his steward. Ojikverdi, a peasant. Gulpari, his daughter, Mustafa Bey's temporary wife, in a Saya marriage, a temporary marriage recognized in 12 Shia Islamic law. Mirza Karim, the village school teacher. Villagers, women, and children. Act 1. The scene takes place in front of Mustafa Bey's house. At center stage stands a large tree. Beneath it, Gulpari spreads an expensive carpet and cushions, sprinkling water over the ground to cool the dust. Several peasants wait nearby, carrying sacks and saddlebags. Other villagers cross the stage with sickles, axes, spades, and shovels in their hands, greeting those assembled as they pass. Ojikverdi, holding a sack, to Gulpari. "My girl, hasn't your master come out yet?" Gulpari: "He has only just dismounted, father. He'll be here in a moment. But he's in a terrible temper." Ojikverdi: "What's happened this time?" Gulpari: "What else could it be? Early this morning the steward brought word that Atakashi's son, Jafar, had stolen water during the night. He diverted a channel from the Kanat, Karais, an underground channel used to transport groundwater for irrigation, and irrigated his cotton field. The Bey flew into a rage, mounted his horse, and rode after him. He tied a rope around poor Jafar's neck, fastened him behind the saddle, and dragged him all the way here. Then he had him beaten so mercilessly that there isn't a sound patch of flesh left on his body." A voice is heard off stage. "There he comes now." Everyone steps aside. Mustafa Bey, entering angrily. "Brute! Son of a brute!" To Gulpari: "Girl, bring me some Aaron." Gulpari exits. "Brute! Son of a brute! He sits beneath the tree. These animals know neither right nor wrong. Fool! If your cotton needed water, you could have come and asked for it like a human being." To the villagers: "Every one of you is a thief. Every one of you lives off what isn't yours." As though giving the Bey his rightful quarter of the cotton harvest in return for the water Allah has provided would kill you. That is why Allah's wrath has fallen upon you. 1 year locusts devour your crops, another year hail destroys them, then drought finishes what is left. In spring you are farmers, in winter beggars." Gulpari returns with a bowl of Aaron, a traditional yogurt-based beverage served cold. Mustafa Bey drinks. "Well? You've all gathered here. What do you want?" First peasant: "Master, we've run out of bread. We've come to ask for some barley. Harvest is almost here. We'll repay you after the threshing." Mustafa Bey: "Only 2 months until you'll be threshing barley, yet you're already starving. How much do you need?" First peasant: "Half a sack for each household would be enough." Mustafa Bey: "Very well. I'll give each of you half a sack on one condition: when the threshing is done, each of you returns a full sack." Second peasant: "Master, we're your people. Why do you press us so hard?" Mustafa Bey: "If you don't like it, then die of hunger. You wretches! Have you paid to dig that kanat, and now you steal my water?" Ojikverdi: "Enough, men. The Bey asks for 1 sack, in return we'll give him 1. Come along." Mustafa Bey: "Ojikverdi, you're getting far too bold. Or do you imagine that because your daughter lives in my house, I can't touch you? By Allah, I'll leave you in worse shape than Jafar." Ojikverdi: "Our bodies are tough, Bey. We can endure whatever comes. Beat me if you wish. You dragged my daughter from my home by force and took her as your Saya wife. What could I do then? What can I do now?" Mustafa Bey: "Your daughter is a wife in my household. You ought to be proud of it instead of filling the air with foolish talk." He notices someone approaching. "It's that man there," pointing, "who has poisoned all of you. Mirza Karim appears in the distance. Ojikverdi motions to the peasants, and they all leave. Gulpari. Bey. Jafar is dying. There isn't a healthy spot left on him. He's lying there like a corpse. He can scarcely breathe. Not even a drop of water will pass his throat. Mustafa Bey. Nothing will happen. A peasant's life is tougher than a dog's. Go tell the servants to put a warm poultice on him or whatever they think best. Gulpari exits. Mirza Karim, entering. Peace be upon you. Mustafa Bey. Have you brought the latest newspaper? What's new? What fresh lies have they printed this time? Mirza Karim. We can speak about the newspapers later. But, Bey, what you've done is wrong. Jafar's son came to see me just now. He says you've beaten his father so savagely that the old man is dying. Believe me, Bey, deeds like these never end well. Mustafa Bey. Mirza Karim, you're the only sensible man in this village. That's why I'm astonished to hear you speak like this. I've spent my own money. I've invested a fortune digging that canot. I don't deny the villagers its water, they're welcome to it. But they must take it lawfully, the way Allah commands, not by stealing it. And I hear you're forever lecturing the villagers, gathering them around you and filling their heads with dangerous ideas. Look at them now, they've become completely disobedient. You read newspapers to them and tell them how, in Russia, landlords are lined up before firing squads, their estates confiscated and handed over to the people, and Allah knows what else. What's the point of all that? Before you came to this village, the people were far more submissive. Now you can't even speak to a child without getting an argument. Mirza Karim. Bey, I am not the people's teacher. Time itself is their teacher. The age we live in is their teacher. It is only natural that those who have been left in darkness should long for light, and those who have lived in bondage and imprisonment should long for freedom. When the whole world is flooded with light, if you shut every door to keep the people in darkness, time itself will force those doors open and punish the one who tried to bar them. Forgive me, Bey. Since we've begun this conversation, I must speak plainly. You had poor Jafar dragged here with a rope around his neck and beaten so savagely that he has yet to regain consciousness. What would you call such an act? Do you imagine we still live in the age of the Khans? The people travel now to Tiflis, Baku, Ganja. Their eyes have been opened. They have awakened. You cannot rely forever on district chiefs, police captains, or Cossack officers to protect you. Once the people's vengeance begins to flow like a flood, no one will be able to hold it back. A moment ago you said, I spent my own money digging the canot. Where did that money come from? Was it not earned from the labor of these very peasants? You say you laid course upon course of stone. No, Bey, that isn't true. You laid nothing. These poor laborers laid every stone. You merely stood above them like a tyrant, watching. It was the workers who dug the canot. And after all that, you accused Jafar of stealing water. Your own son sold him that water for one night, took his money, and went into town to squander it on drink and pleasure. I have investigated the matter myself. Mustafa Bey. Finished? Mirza Karim. Yes, Bey. Forgive me if I've spoken too long. Mustafa Bey. Now it's my turn. Mirza Karim. Please. Mustafa Bey. Listen carefully, Mirza Karim. I hold you in high regard because you're an educated young man with a good head on your shoulders. But here's what I expect from you: go to the school in the morning, teach your lessons, then come home and stay there. There was a teacher here before you. The villagers scarcely knew him, and he scarcely knew them. You're a schoolmaster. Then teach. What concern is it of yours how a bey governs his estate or how peasants conduct themselves? If you buy newspapers, read them yourself. There's no need to gather the villagers and read them aloud. What use are newspapers to peasants? Let them mind their plows and their harvests. I'm telling you this because you're an intelligent fellow. You're the son of a poor man, and you've managed to earn yourself an honest living here. I don't want bad blood between us. Mirza Karim. Bey, everything I've said was for your own good. I'm only a poor village teacher. Wherever I go, I can make my living by teaching a handful of children. I own no land. I own no house. I own no property. I'm not afraid of being dismissed. If you send me to prison, I'll eat prison bread and teach the prisoners. If you have me exiled, teaching will still provide my livelihood wherever I go. But I fear for you. That is why I offer you my advice. Not because I need anything from you. If things continue as they are, it is you who will suffer in the end. Mustafa Bey. If I ever find myself in trouble, I'll know how to deal with it. All I ask is that you stop interfering in the affairs of my peasants. You've filled every one of them with rebellion. At that moment Ojikverdi passes by carrying a sack. They no longer know right from wrong. They borrow, but never repay. Take this fellow here, pointing at Ojikverdi. It's been 3 full years since he borrowed 5 manats from me, and I haven't seen a penny of it. Ojikverdi, stopping. 5 manats? What 5 manats, Bey? Mustafa Bey. Don't you remember when a Cossack soldier, who was lodging in your house, lost his riding whip? He had you tied beneath a tree and was beating you half to death. I paid him 5 manats to save your life. Ojikverdi. I remember. Mustafa Bey. Then if you remember, why haven't you repaid your debt after all these years? Ojikverdi. Bey, did I ever ask you to pay that Cossack to save me? My back has been accustomed to the lash since my father's and grandfather's time. You've beaten me 100 times already. What difference would one more beating from a Cossack have made? It wouldn't have killed me. Sooner or later he'd have tired himself out and gone away. And if I had truly borrowed money, at least I'd know whom I owed it to. Besides, I thought you were giving the money to the Cossack as a gift. But if you count it as a debt, then so be it. I'll go and bring it at once. Turning to Mirza Karim. Mirza Karim, if you have 5 manats with you, lend them to me. Tomorrow I'll take my cow to the weekly market, sell it, and repay you. Mirza Karim reaches into his pocket. Mustafa Bey. And what about my money that's been tied up for 3 years? What of the interest? I've done the calculation. With interest included, your debt now comes to 24 manats. Mirza Karim. Bey, please don't do this. Conscience does not permit such dealings. Mustafa Bey. I must squeeze the breath out of these people before they'll ever come to their senses. Ojikverdi. Mirza Karim, don't say another word. When such a noble bey demands payment, I, a ragged pauper, shall certainly pay. Never mind 24 manats. Let it be 124. Bey, you'll have your money tomorrow. Add another day's interest while you're at it, whatever the amount may be. I'm only a poor man. See? I'm carrying barley home so my family can bake bread. But you must have pilaf, with tender lamb floating in butter. Mustafa Bey, furiously. Get out of my sight. May those 24 manats choke you. Ojikverdi. No, Bey, they won't choke me. I'll bring you every last coin. Then you can eat well, and sleep peacefully every night. He exits. The villagers pass across the stage carrying their sacks. Mustafa Bey. Listen to the insolence of that shameless scoundrel. Mirza Karim, this is all you're doing. Mirza Karim. No, Bey. When the heart burns, it breathes fire instead of air. A boy enters carrying a newspaper. Boy. Teacher, they've sent this from the district office. Mirza Karim, opening the newspaper. Remarkable. This is what comes of living so far from the city. Mustafa Bey. What is it? Mirza Karim. It's today's paper. The Communist, from Baku. Mustafa Bey. Communist? And what is that supposed to mean? Mirza Karim. The people themselves will soon explain what communist means. A Soviet government has been proclaimed in Baku. The property and wealth of the rich are being transferred to the people. Factories and workshops are becoming public property. The lands of the beys and khans are being taken from them and distributed among the peasants who work them. Mustafa Bey. Lies. All lies. Such a thing is impossible. Who has the right to take the property my forefathers left me and hand it over to the rabble? It's a lie. Mirza Karim, holding out the newspaper. Here. Read it for yourself. Mustafa Bey. Read it? With what learning? I tell you it's a lie. I'd like to know whose restless hand wrote such nonsense and sent it here. Mirza Karim, I ask you not to show that newspaper to a single soul. I'll send a writer into town to learn the truth. Calling. Gul Mahmud. Gul Mahmud enters. You must saddle a horse and ride to the city immediately. Gul Mahmud. Bey. Jafar is dead. What shall we do now? Mustafa Bey. What are you saying? Dead? How can he be dead? Gul Mahmud. It's true. He's dead. Mustafa Bey leaps to his feet in alarm, then staggers. Mustafa Bey. Come. He suddenly clutches at his chest and collapses into Gul Mahmud's arms. Mirza Karim. Don't be afraid. You won't die. You've only fallen asleep. When you awaken, you'll find yourself in another world, the world of retribution. Curtain. Act 2. The same setting. Mustafa Bey and Gul Mahmud are talking. Mustafa Bey. My boy, what has happened to this village? It looks deserted, not a soul is to be seen. Gul Mahmud. The villagers left last night. It is about time they returned. Mustafa Bey. Where did they go? Gul Mahmud. To the weekly market. Last night the Yubashi, captain, a local military officer, brought orders that a new government had been established in Baku. They say all the lands belonging to the beys will be confiscated and distributed among the peasants. Government officials have come to the market, calling everyone there to explain the new law. As soon as the news arrived, the schoolteacher Mirza Karim gathered the villagers and declared that not a single able-bodied man should remain in the village. He led them all to the market. They even put the Yubashi in irons and locked him in the stable. Those who could walk set off immediately on foot. The rest rode there, one horse for each person, or one horse shared between two. Mustafa Bey. Why didn't you tell me? Gul Mahmud. You were asleep then. I didn't dare wake you. Besides, Bey, what good would it have done? Around here Mirza Karim is the real Bey now. Even if he chopped off the heads of the villagers' children one by one, they wouldn't hold it against him. Mustafa Bey. Mirza Karim went too? Gul Mahmud. Don't you know? Whenever it comes to the villagers' affairs, Mirza Karim is always the one leading them. You should have reined him in while there was still time. Now it's too late to stop him. Mustafa Bey. What could I have done? I complained to the Pristov, district police officer, several times. When the Nakalnik, district administrator, came here, I begged him to get rid of that scoundrel, and he promised he would. Later the head of the schools came. He said, Bey, until now this village school has never had more than 10 or 15 pupils. But Mirza Karim has enrolled more than 70. A teacher like that cannot be dismissed. If the school had room, the villagers would send him 200 children. So there was no remedy there either. It seems we'll have to hand over the reins to these youngsters. Gul Mahmud. Bey, you made a mistake yourself. You should have given one of the ruffians 1,000 manats to put a bullet through his ear and leave him lying there. Mustafa Bey. Exactly. That was my foolishness. How can anyone stand against him now? Gul Mahmud. Bey, I'm afraid of something even worse. Mustafa Bey. Worse than this? Gul Mahmud. I'm afraid we may lose our lives as well. Just as they shackled the Yubashi, they may lay hands on us too. Especially after they come back from the market with their spirits up. In fact, I meant to tell you before he left, Mirza Karim said, when I return from the market, I'll leave Mustafa Bey in worse shape than the Yubashi. Mustafa Bey, deep in thought. We're in a terrible situation. A bastard like him is capable of anything. Listen, Gul Mahmud, we can't stay here. Tell the boys to saddle the horses. We'll ride out and hide somewhere. Gul Mahmud. What horses? Mustafa Bey. What do you mean? What are you saying? Gul Mahmud. It's true. Last night the stable master opened the stable doors and gave all the horses to the villagers. Mirza Karim rode off on your chestnut horse. Mustafa Bey. Bring that wretched stable master here. I'll make him pay dearly. Go at once. Gul Mahmud. There's no stable master here to summon. He rode off on my horse too. Mustafa Bey. Then why, you fool, didn't you come and tell me? You should have dragged me out of bed if necessary. Gul Mahmud. I tried to wake you. What good would it have done? You would only have lost more face. When I asked the stable master, son, why are you taking my horse, he answered, wait till I come back from the market, then I'll ride you instead. He said a great many other things too. To tell the truth, I'd rather not repeat them. After a pause, he even had a few choice words about you. He said, you and your master have fed me donkey's barley long enough. Now you'll eat the barley, and I'll eat the pilaf. In short, he talked on and on. Mustafa Bey. No, this is dangerous. To Gul Mahmud. Trouble is coming. Tell the boys to arm themselves. Gul Mahmud. Bey, in this whole village the only men left wearing hats are you and me. Mustafa Bey. Then what are we to do? Is there no way out? Gul Mahmud. Keep your composure. Look, the villagers are coming back. Mustafa Bey, pacing anxiously. No, we've been caught in a dreadful trap. Mirza Karim is behind all of this. A young villager crosses the stage. Hey, you there! Stop a moment. The villager stops and looks at him coldly. Why didn't you greet me as you passed? The villager starts to leave without answering. Hey, stop! Young villager, stopping. What do you want? Mustafa Bey. Where are you coming from? Young villager. From the weekly market. Mustafa Bey. Who are those people from Baku? What were they saying? Young villager. I don't have time now. I'll tell you later. He exits. Mustafa Bey. Did you see the insolence of that fellow? Gul Mahmud. May Allah spare us from worse. Mirza Karim crosses the stage. Mustafa Bey. Mirza Karim. Mirza Karim. Would you come here for a moment? Crowds of villagers pass by in groups. The same setting. Mustafa Bey and Gul Mahmud are talking. Mirza Karim. What is it, Bey? Mustafa Bey. Only you can explain all this to me. Mirza Karim. To tell the truth, I have nothing left to explain. I've been speaking about this for years. My task is finished. From now on, you will have to speak directly with the people. Mustafa Bey. Honestly, Mirza, I don't like the way the villagers are looking at me. I'm afraid they'll disgrace me. Talk to them. Tell them I'm their elder, that they owe me respect. If they don't want me here, very well, I shall leave today. The village, the land, the fields, the water, the livestock, everything will be theirs. Mirza Karim. Bey, the answer should come from the son of Jafar, son of Atakashi, the man you had beaten to death a few days ago. I warned you many times. Had you listened, you would never have fallen into this predicament. Mustafa Bey. Mirza Karim, I'm an ignorant man. I have no education. I didn't understand. I beg you, the people listen to you. You must somehow save me. Mirza Karim. You are mistaken, Bey. No educated man could accomplish what you have accomplished. No scholar could rival your craftsmanship. What are you asking of me? Forgive me, but I can do nothing. Look, the people are coming. Speak to them yourself. Mirza Karim steps aside. A crowd enters, led by Aghayeva, carrying a tray covered with a red cloth. The stage fills with villagers. Aghayeva, bowing. Bey, you have been our master until today. Our grandfathers served yours. Our fathers stood at your gate. We ourselves have been your servants. But times have changed. The landlord's lands and wealth are now being distributed among the peasants. We felt it our duty to come and thank you for all the kindness and humanity you have shown us. We came to your door for grain, for money, for bread, and you never sent us away empty-handed. We are deeply grateful to you. May Allah reward you. Mustafa Bey. Allah knows I have always regarded you as my own children. I always wished for your prosperity. True, I may have offended some of you, beaten or cursed you, but I did so as a father, as your elder. Even so, I ask your forgiveness. I shall willingly leave all my possessions to you and depart today. Aghayeva. Allah bless you, Bey. We are very grateful to you. And we will never allow you to leave us. You must remain among us forever. He places the tray on the ground. We ask you to accept this humble gift from your devoted servants. Mustafa Bey lifts the cloth. Beneath it lies a hangman's noose. He turns pale. Aghayeva. It's nothing extraordinary, Bey. It's the very rope you tied around Jafar's neck and dragged him with. You love this tree, don't you? You always said you wished to be buried beneath it when you died. So we've decided to honor your wish. We'll hang you from this tree with this blood-stained rope, then bury your body beneath it so that you may rest forever in the shade of your beloved tree. And your faithful servant Gul Mahmud will not be separated from you. Please, stand up. Mustafa Bey tries to speak, but no words come. It seems the Bey's legs are giving him trouble. Never mind, boys, lift him yourselves. To Mustafa Bey. Don't worry, Bey. We've soaked the rope properly. In 3 minutes your soul will be eating pilaf in paradise. Come on, boys. Several young men seize Mustafa Bey and hang him from the tree. Tie Gul Mahmud's hands as well. They seize Gul Mahmud. Gulbarai, entering. So this is what you wanted, Mustafa Bey? Now take your reward. People, I am your daughter. This tyrant tore me from my father's home by force and imprisoned me here, tormenting me all this time. Now he has received his punishment. I open his house to you. Come take his money, his property, his wealth, his gold. It all belongs to you. The crowd surges toward the house. Mirza Karim, stepping forward. People, be calm. The crowd falls silent. Nothing belonging to Mustafa Bey must be squandered. Everything must be inventoried and placed under the authority of the people's elected representatives, so that it may be distributed fairly. Today the chains of bondage that weighed upon our necks for centuries have been broken, and this property has become yours. Now you must prove yourselves worthy of it. Until today you labored for the landlords, from today onward you shall labor for yourselves. Before, the Bey forced you to work. Now you must work willingly for yourselves, your children, and your future. Work twice as hard, 3 times as hard, and make these lands flourish. Until now you worked by day and slept by night. From now on, if necessary, you must work through the night as well. Your hovels must become fine homes. Your yards must be filled with livestock. Electric lights must shine in your houses. Instead of dry bread, you shall eat pilaf. But none of this will come without labor. Until today power belonged to wealth. From now on it shall belong to those who work. The age of soft white hands is over. Long live the calloused hands. Crowd. Long live Mirza Karim. Long live our teacher. Mirza Karim. Mothers, sisters. Prepare your spinning wheels and looms. Begin spinning wool and weaving cloth. Blood will still be shed for your sake, for the world has not yet been cleansed. There are many more Mustafa Beys. The young men who struggle on this path will need clothing, and it is you, mothers, who will provide it. And the little children must all go to school, for our hopes for the future rest with them. Since our school is too small, Mustafa Bey's mansion shall be turned into a school and a community house. Come, brothers. Take hold of the plough with all your hearts. Long live labor. Down with oppression. Crowd. Long live labor. Long live Mirza Karim. Mirza Karim. Long live the people's government. Curtain.